Even the Bible doesn't permit women to hold authority over men. Let me say that again. Even in the Bible, it says that women are not to hold authority over men. This is according to Timothy 2-12. 2-12. I'll read the verse to you real quick. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Timothy 2-12. Okay? I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Now, what does this mean? This means basically that God laid out the rules very clearly. Okay? He laid out the rules very clearly that the man has authority over the woman and not the reverse. Okay? Not the woman has authority over the man, and none of this equality bullshit either. Okay? That is not what God had ever intended, and that's not what the scriptures had intended. Okay? Otherwise, it would have said that. It would have said, hey, it wouldn't have said, I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. It would have said, hey, men and women are equal, right? How many times have you heard that? Men, women, equality, we're all equal. It's not true. Okay? It's not true. And this is not to say that, men are better than women or women are better than men. That's not to say that, because men are better at things that women are not as good at, and same with women. Women are better at things that men are not as good at, right? Women generally, for example, make better nurturers than men do. You see that transcendental across nature, right? Females are better nurturers than men are. So that's not to say that. According to the scriptures, it does say that God's word is that a woman, he does not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. And this is why I don't have relationships where I let the woman kind of like yield her power over me, or I let her control the relationship, or I let her lead the relationship. It's just my natural duties and responsibilities as a man to do those things, and I'm happy to do it. I enjoy doing it. It makes me feel good, just as it makes you feel good, right? Doesn't it feel good, guys, when your woman lets you lead, when she trusts you to lead, when she trusts you to be the man? Right? Feels great. Think about those relationships that you've had with women where you had that type of relationship and she let you take control of your lives together, right? Versus this constant like equal compromise, and she's constantly taking the lead from you. She's constantly, exercising authority over you. If you look at those type of relationships in society, and there are plenty of them out there these days, plenty of examples of that. You see those relationships, there's always chaos, right? There's always depression, there's always sadness, there's always fighting, there's always resentment, there's always anger, there's always hostility. There's very little happiness, if any at all. Right? This is why I don't engage in those type of relationships. Have I done that in the past? Yeah, my old blue pill self, stupid me, right? I've done those things where I was like, I'm supposed to empower the woman. Let me empower the woman, and I abandoned the teachings that I've gotten since childhood, right? Growing up Catholic, from the scriptures, I abandoned that and I tried to do my own thing. And I tried to be like, oh yeah, man, this is the way things are now. Got to empower the woman. We got to be equals and all this other stuff. And those relationships always ended in grave disaster. Grave disaster. I've talked about my ex from 2006. That was the last relationship that I let go that way. I've reverted back to the way I was when I was younger. In my younger relationships, right? They weren't the most healthy, but they were the most in line with what the scriptures teach. Whether you're a believer or not, I'm not holding that against you. I'm just saying that this is what's in the Bible. And generally, when it comes to what the Bible has to say about women, it's pretty spot on, right? And this is one that really hit home with me. I mean, it's pretty spot on. You do not permit a woman to teach you or assume authority over you, right? It says that she must remain quiet. In a perfect world, she should, right? But, these chicks these days, they just like nonstop yapping in your ear, right? Nonstop yap. Nonstop yap. If you have a relationship now where you're having issues and you don't feel happy and you don't feel like a man half the time, you kind of feel like you're being emasculated a lot, right? A lot of these chicks are like professional emasculators these days because they're watching The View, they're watching these TV shows, they're following the mainstream, right? They're getting that social engineering, and they're kind of even abandoning their own natural, organic behavioral patterns to kind of follow the mass, follow what's popular, right? You notice lately with all the craziness happening with like riots and race wars and everything happening lately, if you look on your social media, 99% of the people doing the virtue signaling are what? They're female, right? Females. They're posting like all these like memes and stuff like, I mean, as if it's ever gonna do anything, right? Posting all these memes and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why don't you get out there and make a difference? Why are you posting the stuff on your social media and then shaming other people like, oh, silence is... what was that quote? Somebody kept posting this. It was something like, inaction is, or silence is deadly, or silence is causing people to die. And it's like, what are you doing? You know, you're just posting memes on your stupid social media. Get out there. Not to get off topic, but the point was like 99% of the time when you see something happen like that in society, which is also being driven by the mainstream media, don't be fooled for a second, guys. There's always going to be chaos in the world. There's always going to be, you know, some injustice happening. And you know what? The mainstream media is going to drive that into your face, and they're going to create divisive reports and divisive titles for their content to get you to click. Because at the end of the day, that is when they get the most ad revenue, is when they get you to click. When there is a crisis going on, whether it's the Roni, right, the virus, or somebody getting beat down, or somebody getting killed, whatever, if they see an opportunity to drive eyeballs, you know, to their channels, to their sites, to their content, to their websites, they're gonna do it, right? The mainstream media has no soul. They are not your friend. They're not on your side. They're not trying to like console with you. So don't be an idiot. Don't be a fool. If you're a red pill like we teach you how to be, you should be able to see through their BS. I gotta watch my cursing. As you know, YouTube has a new profanity filter. So you have to be mindful and use your head, right? The mainstream is behind all of this nonsense going on. Like all the panic over the virus, all of the anger over racial divisions and all this today. I mean, the mainstream is behind all of it. I could even take you deeper into the rabbit hole and tell you about who owns these, you know, basically like 3 or 4 major news outlets that is controlling the entire narrative for society. If you look behind that and dig even deeper, you'll come up with some pretty scary shit, right? And then you'll feel pretty stupid for buying into their narrative. They're in social engineering that all of the females on your social media are foolishly and naively and stupidly posting because they can't think for themselves, because they don't have a brain, they don't have any individuality. They're just posting memes that other people have posted because it's part of the way that they virtue signal in order to kind of like gain social status. I mean, it's so sad and pathetic. I really have no respect for females who do that. The females that I do respect are the ones that can actually think for themselves and see beyond all of the social engineering and the propaganda that comes from the mainstream media. Those are the chicks that I instantly respect, because I'm like, wow, they are going against their own natural hardwiring to go along, to get along, to join, you know, that hive mentality. They're actually going against that to not be part of it. They're actually smart enough to see beyond it and not just see what's on the surface. And the problem with a lot of these chicks who are just kind of like following the social narrative and who tend to do, I mean, they tend to do it a lot. It's kind of like a behavioral pattern with them where they're just cursed. I mean, anytime like some injustice happens in the world, they just have to post all of these memes, post all of these like, you know, ridiculous thoughts of theirs, like, oh, look, you know, look what's happening in the world. It's all because of you evil people, you know, and it's like because they can't think for themselves. They can't think beyond the surface. They can only see what's on the surface. They can only see what CNN is feeding them, right? So anyway, moving on, not to get too far off topic, guys. It just goes back to what I was saying, what the Bible is saying, which is do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over you as a man. Whenever I see these companies, I mean, these companies, like these corporations, like major corporations with millions of shareholders, right? People who invest in their company. All of a sudden, they put a female CEO in charge, right? They hire a female CEO. I mean, hey, if she's qualified and she has a proven track record of making things happen and, you know, actually putting in the work, I have no problem with that. I don't care who's in there as long as they're producing results. But if you're just putting this person as the head of your corporation to virtue signal, to meet some kind of like gender quota, to basically go along with the mainstream and be part of that social engineering, go screw yourself. I don't want to invest in that company. I don't want any part of it. Okay? Because they're not putting the best person for the job in charge. They're basically giving, you know, shareholders a finger while they virtue signal. Okay, they're not putting the best person who could produce the best product, who could hire the best employees, who can, you know, deliver the best quality to the customer. They're not putting that person in charge. They're putting a lesser person, a more mediocre person in charge, so that they can virtue signal at the expense of your money, at the expense of the product that you're paying for. This is why I don't like to do businesses with companies who do that shit. If I find out a company is doing that kind of stuff and I see their product on the shelf, I don't buy it. I'll buy the competitor's product. I will buy a generic product just to stay away from giving them money, just to not support them. If they're putting, like, you know, a female in charge just to put a female in charge, you know, because they're going to try to, you know, like, meet their gender quota, I don't want to be part of that company. I don't invest in companies like that. I stay far away from them. Let the idiots of the world buy your products. I ain't buying it. Okay. But at the end of the day, guys, if you're in a relationship like this where, you know, your woman has assumed authority over you in that relationship and she's taking control of it, like leading it and trying to teach you and trying to transform you into a version of her and all this other nonsense, you gotta read Timothy 2-12. Okay? God himself says, I do not permit a woman to teach or assume authority over a man. She must remain silent. That means, hey, no noise from the peanut gallery. We don't need to hear your little comments as I lead this thing, as I quarterback this relationship. I don't need to hear any lip from you. Just stay there, follow my lead. Everything will be fine, right? And hey, if your girl is gonna let you lead, man, you better take the lead, right? You better take the lead, do the right thing. Okay, this doesn't mean like, hey, take the lead and be, you know, a piece of shit. I mean, take the lead and be a man, right? Be a grown-ass man, as I like to say. Be a grown-ass man. And with that said, I am going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube channel. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton when you guys actually subscribe to my channel. So please make sure you're subscribed, and also feel free to share my coaching videos with other like-minded friends of yours who also want to become their best versions of themselves. Not only do I want you to subscribe, but I also want you to tell your friends about our channel and have them subscribe as well so we can reach other men. Okay? And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I am talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the exact same type of women that myself and my students are out there cold approaching and bringing into our lives every single week. And I kid you not, guys, we're doing this every single week. We're doing this consistently, okay? Consistently. We're not having any dry spells or anything like that. We're doing this consistently. This is the absolute best way to support my work. And right now it's only $1. This is the absolute best way to support my work. So if you love what I do, if you love my content, if you love my DeLorean, I love this car, then jump into 7 Months of Mastery. It's real easy to get signed up. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It only takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.